Welcome back to the Bumper Breakfast. Joining the conversation this morning, like I said, Mr. Akin Fatuke. Mr. Akin Fatuke is a chartered accountant by profession, a public affairs analyst, a communication specialist, and a trainer. Let's say an upcoming broadcaster as well, because then he hosts his own show now, talking accounting and the rest of it. Good morning. How are you doing today?
I'm doing very fine. I'm putting on a blue. You're putting on a blue.
Yeah, we tend to be matching
like
this morning.
You always leave out something, and I crave for it. I love the youths.
The father of the youth.
Somebody put me on his shoulder so that I can be tall. I love power to the youths. And again, whether you are Bugain or you are not as disciplined, and when you are Buga, and you are capable of making sure that no matter how you look at it, discipline is the name of the game for you to be able to sustain. You saw Toby. After winning all those things, Buga. So maybe blue is color of Buga. Thank you very much, Toby. I'm happy to be here.
It's quite interesting. When I saw the picture of Toby Amusho that is trending across the world right now, if you check Google and you type in Toby Amusho, you just see my director can just put up that picture. You just see Toby Amusho with his hand like this, and that's just the picture making it round. I mean, she has reasons to Buga. World Athletics Championship record holder. Gold medalist, Commonwealth Games 2022 record. She defended her title. She was the winner last tenure, and then she defended her title, and then she won again, and she set the record. I mean, it's still.
Listeners will remember Fela Ransom Kuti.
Yes.
And who died quite some time ago, close to some light years ago. At one point in time, Toby and like many of the youths will be experiencing, Fela was in the UK, and there's this talk that everybody that comes from Africa has a tail. So somebody was now touching his backside.
I'm trying to see if there is a tail there.
And he came up with a song on that score. What I'm trying to underscore, in line with Amushan, is the fact that the challenges will be there. Back at home, people will not recognize you and all that. Stay ramrod, stay firm. Eventually, the whole world will begin to now then say, yeah. I mean, people said that Amushan was wind assisted. But you saw, she said, this is not a question of wind. Even if I was not recognized as much as I could be recognized at home, look me at the international space. Look at the Buga. And Nigeria is going to Buga eventually, despite all the challenges we have. I have faith and believe in that.
Mr. Fatuke, I like the fact that we're talking about Nigeria bugaing. In the sports world, as we speak, Nigeria is bugaing, as a matter of fact, with about 9 gold medals and I think about 14.
Sorry.
Pardon me, please. Number 12 or 13 gold medals. 12 gold medals.
Gold medals.
I think 9 from the women. Yeah, that's the and I love this girl. I love this girl. 25-year-old Toby Amusho making Nigeria proud across.
And the women are making us proud.
That's why I said 9 gold medals. 9 of the 12.
So they should not come here and they should be underrepresented. Men all over, let's give it to these
God
ladies.
Is paving the way for women. I don't get it, but at the Commonwealth Games, Nigeria is topping, one of the top countries now with the gold medals.
Oh, yes.
And Nigeria has won about 12. We're leading Africa. We'll have about 12 gold medals. 9 of them were won by women. I like that part. I'm feeling cool. And Toby actually substituted for somebody who was removed from the 400-meter relay race. And she still set the baton. It's a Brume doing fantastic. Nigerian women are doing great things. Give us the chance. We're going to do much more in politics. But let's talk about Lagos this morning. Yesterday, the governor of Lagos State received the Consul General to the United States. And there was a conversation that ensued between them. I want to quickly listen to that. And then we're back in the studio to talk more about the stories that made the front page of the papers.
it's really about our people. It's really about ensuring that we can use our opportunity, to better the lives of our citizens, our businesses, in both jurisdictions and both countries. And you said it, over the last couple of months in Lagos alone, we've seen direct investment from big American companies, that have seen, the need for them not just to verbalize that the future is in Africa, but the future is actually in Lagos, and they've begun to take those steps.
Lagos State, as the Consul General, trade and investment, promoting bilateral trade and investment, helping Nigerian companies export to the U.S., U.S. companies export here, U.S. companies invest here, and Nigerian companies investing in the U.S. We're focused on security, as the governor mentioned. We're focused on ensuring that we're working together with Nigerian organizations and law enforcement to combat transnational crime and help make the people here safer and more secure, which actually is directly connected to trade and investment. We're focused on the human concept of a relationship, health, partnerships in democracy and governance, preparations for the upcoming elections, everything we can do to ensure that the people here in Lagos State and throughout Nigeria have an opportunity to live healthy and safe lives.
Yes, we're back here, and that was the governor of Lagos State, Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu, yesterday having that meeting with the U.S. Consul General, and was seeking investment from American companies. They say Lagos is doing better. It's the economic nerve center of Nigeria, and we're still seeking more.
Reminds me, let's say kudos. There is this Yoruba saying, I wonder if you'll be able to help me translate it to English.
Okay, I think something good always comes out from the dead years of all situations.
In the cauldron that you put on fire, and that's...
Mr. Pastor, can break it down so that people can understand.
Taking a lot of soot, you still get white pap out of
from it.
And I think I say kudos to the governor of Lagos State in part of the investment drive, despite the challenges. And I will be the last to tell you or tell anybody that Center of Excellence, Lagos, which is the poster boy, the poster child
of Nigeria
in the Federation, still has its own security challenges, governance challenges, but it's still one eye compared to some other areas that are blind. And what Governor Sanwo-Olu seems to be doing takes me back to that my allegory, is the fact that despite it all, there are always good sides to it. In 2006, just I happened by in the US, and the Council of African Relations was making some allusions about Nigeria. And you know, the way Intel goes, the American Intel people, it may be a tattered person around you. They will come to, they will not go to your head. The guy just saw me standing, and is the famous Ambassador Lehman that was talking about the fact that Nigeria was not going to survive. This was at the throes of the Obasanjo third term. Will Obasanjo leave or no Obasanjo leave? And he asked me a question off the cuff. I said, what do you really think
about all of this conversation?
Think Obasanjo is a strong president and stuff like that, but it looks as if there is no successor and all that. You know, he set me on. I said, well, that's probably true. And then I changed my own intonation to, that's probably true. But you know, you are the bastion of democracy. No matter how, Obasanjo has got to be able to lead. Just that statement I made, honestly speaking, will you believe that ambassador has to contact Nigeria, put my name, and said one gentleman who came from ExxonMobil and stuff like that was brutally frank. He even went against what I was trying to say. I wanted to see if ExxonMobil in Nigeria was behind this third time or no third time bid. And what did they feel? That fantastic guy. Suffice to say, this is not about me. The recommendation was so high, I got a promotion. My point, therefore, is this. Out of nothing, something can come. Just continue to stand straight, courageous, be fair, know your rules, know your game, and then be able to, because it can just come. It just came, it came to meet me. He should not have come to meet me. He just came to meet me and said,
out of the blue,
just out of the
asked
blue.
that question.
And there I was. And then I said, oh, this is great. So my message to the Nigerian youths, my Nigerian middle class, the sun is going to rise for Nigeria again. Let's do what we need to be able to do. Congratulations again, my governor. There's still a lot of work
To be done.
I
totally, absolutely agree with you.
And we are going to get there.
You know, sincerely, me, the story when it broke out yesterday, of course I read it in the news, that, excuse me please, the terrorists released 7 kidnapped victims from the Kaduna train attack. I had mixed feelings, not because we were not expecting them to release these people, but because they did say that some of these people may not, we're not sure if there was a ransom paid or otherwise. Mr. Fatunke, let's go back a little bit to that conversation we had when Kuje prison was attacked, and maybe step back a little further than that. Can you remember that one of the conditions presented by this group of terrorists for the unconditional release of these train victims was the fact they wanted somebody to release to them their kingpins who were arrested and were at the prison? Their leaders, 15 of them, that were at the prison. They wanted these people to be released to them. Now, we had that conversation and we said we wouldn't release them. Now, they broke into the Kuje prison and released them by themselves. But now, the expectation of every Nigerian is the fact that since we have not been able to come up with who did, how they did, all we have been saying is we are recovering the prisoners one after the other. The other question now will be, shouldn't we then go forth and say release? Just about last week, somebody was saying on the show that this is just a facade, because last week also they released about 5 victims. I think about 4 victims. And then yesterday, they released another 7. A man, his wife, 4 children, and 2 other people were released. So you're looking at 7 people released yesterday by the same people. Is this a gimmick? Can't we just... they've broken into the prison.
Tomisi, as much as like you, I read in the newspaper, especially on social media, a lot of the things that you've said. I have not seen a serious communication and feedback from the seat of government itself, one, to confirm, to affirm, or deny. So one is at a loss. And you know 101 of communication is if you don't communicate well, you give room to rumors, and then you give room to non-state actors who will be making different demands here and there. And one of the things I heard is that there were 419 of fake intermediaries, and the Federal Government of Nigeria, Federal Republic of Nigeria, is not very, very happy that some of these prisoners have been released. Now, how did that release happen? Did you willingly release them, or you looked the other side when the owners of the manor came calling and came to release their own? Whether it's part of deliberate or not deliberate, okay, like you said, these people were released. Yet, the owners of the manor reneged
on the agreement.
On the agreement.
Or is it that we're not pressing for? Because neither has the federal government even told us if these 15 people were taken.
Quote and unquote agreement.
Okay.
Again, let's be careful. Maybe it's true, maybe it's not true, but in the absence of you feeling us exactly what is happening, other than the fact that Mr. President went there and was asking whether there was CCTV camera, and there's so many other underhand things that went on there. So they released their people. It therefore means that the terrorists that we are dealing with are not, for lack of a better word, gentlemen. You know, among thieves, you still have something that you call gentility, quote and unquote, gentility. You are not a gentleman. So you are one step, unfortunately, ahead of constitutional authority. So who really is in charge? The terrorists or ourselves? Now, you just mentioned the fact that some additional persons were released. They could not just have been released. I am very sure they were released on the fact that they are now bugaing, that we came and released our own people, and they also took ransom. I have reasons to believe that they also took ransom. So we are getting a double whammy here and here.
So they released criminals from the prison. They took their leaders, and then they're still collecting money.
I am cocksure of that. And I say I'm cocksure
So
of that
basically, we are funding, or whoever it is that is paying this ransom, we are funding the terrorists.
that is what it will mean. In the absence of truth, concise truth communicating with us, Mr. President has never, to the best of my recollection, has never, like I see in other climes, at times like this, come to talk to Nigerians. We hear from,
Presidency, they call it.
okay, AIDS, they can reverse, they can whatever it is. So there's so much confusion. Do you know one of the things that is now very strange? Tomi said, I don't know if you have come across the concept of turnover. Okay, turnover. It's an accounting business. Turnover means you turn it over.
Yeah.
After you turn it over, you can still turn it over. It means you return, you resell, you sell, and all that. Did you notice the turnover? 7 were released, 5 were
Taken.
taken.
As a matter of fact, the family of 6 that was released, the 4 kids, the father, and the wife. My director can just put up that picture. The family that was released, very interestingly, the father of that young man used to be the ex-military governor of Kano and Benue State, if I'm correct. Yeah, Kano and Benue State. So the man is the son of a former military administrator and part of the National Assembly Council. So he works at the National Assembly, and his family had been in captivity for 75 days now?
So you see the point about turnover?
Now the family that was taken, you just mentioned the issue of the turnover, and that's why I really want to go there. I try not to go to these places, but you're not a very nice person, Mr. Fatuke. You really like me to talk about these things that we try not to draw the distinction.
I'm gentle. Oh, are you thinking of the VC? Well, my former VC.
Now, those are the victims that were released yesterday. We're still taking a look at it. Bandits also abducted the turnover, like you said. Ango Abdullah's daughter-in-law and her 4 grandchildren.
That was my VC at that time back in the university. So I hope my friend and brother, the former emir of Kano, Sanusi Lamido Sanusi, will listen to this clip and so he can verify. Back in the day when you say Ango must go, each time we wanted to.
Oh, it was your VC.
Oh, at that time. The point now is, you ride the back of the tiger, you end up in his belly. And there is no elite, including yours sincerely, that can conveniently say, as we speak today, that we are not exposed. I sympathize with what is happening to Ango Abdullahi and
his family.
I hope the family will be saved. He will have to, again,
they have to pay ransom.
Pay something, call it ransom or whatever it is, because the Nigerian state has virtually and totally lost some measure of control. I say this with a lot of pain in my heart. He who feels it knows it. It is not funny. Those pictures that you showed just now, look at the trauma in the faces of those children.
Of those children, because I look at it yesterday. The picture is on the front page of the Punch newspaper, or you want to take a look at it's a bit wider. Malam Tuko Mamu is also there, one of the spokespersons, one of the negotiators. The picture is there. That elderly woman apparently was released, the terrorist said, because she had a medical condition that was fast deteriorating. But then, of course, you have the man and his wife all together. The faces of those 4 children, especially the older ones, they look traumatized. Like,
never in the
traumatized.
history and thought of our founding fathers who will be shaking in their graves now, did we ever think Nigeria was going to be what we are seeing now?
Mr. Fatunke, interestingly, a friend of mine was sharing with me over the weekend how his friend's wife's siblings were part of these victims, the first early ones that were released. And one of them, apparently 3 were released and 1 is still there. They had to pay some ransom and all that. And he said to me, he said, the shocking part is since they got back home, they've not been able to say a word.
Yes, I mean,
He said they're practically like ghosts, living ghosts, just moving around the premises.
it is trauma of the highest order. Trauma of the highest order. In fact, you may say you want to sleep, you may be hearing gunshots, whipping like animals, you know. It's horrendous, and it's unfortunate where government is not capable of taking care of our security, maintaining law and order. That is not only a state of anarchy. Life has become nasty, brutish, and short. My thoughts, my prayers, those who are released and those who have just gone in by way of turnover. I don't know who next is going to to get into their necks. I know for sure that sooner or later Nigeria will get it right. I'm happy that at least some of the our massacre people.
And that's another conversation entirely.
Kudos to our military, and no matter how you look at it, we must continually support them. Kudos to Arakuni
Akeredolu.
I am happy at some of the things I'm beginning to see. If we can have an Akeredolu in the southeast, we can have the like of an Akeredolu in the middle belt, in the northeast and northwest, just one of such. I think we'll begin to say we can claim our country back, and then we can then have the likes of an Akeredolu at the center. You understand what I'm trying to say here and now? We know that at least we can compact and begin to fight a common front. Well, right now, it's like to your tent, O Israel, there's confusion in the land, there is insecurity, I should call it, and there is a sense of hopelessness. But like I said,
there is light at the end of the tunnel.
Toby Amushon is showing us the way, and we dare agree that we are going to follow that torchlight.
All right, still talking about the stories at the front page of the papers. I like to bring to Nigerians notice when there is good news, because we're still talking about the terrorists, despite the fact that they arrested they abducted Ango Abdullah's daughter-in-law and her 4 grandchildren. The Air Force has killed another terrorist kingpin in an air raid. Now, Edward Gapquat made the confirmation, said the Chief of Air Staff, Chief Marshal Oladayo Amowo, was back in Kaduna to review the ongoing operations and give further directives. The intense operations also endured in the entire military theater of the operation as NAF aircraft continued seeking and decimating enemies in Kaduna State. Now, what it simply means so far is from the briefings, the operatives have been able to, continue to bombard the enemy from different angles, and it did promise they're not going to let down their guard. Apparently, in the Northwest specifically, the effect of the strikes undertaken by NAF aircraft has revealed that several terrorists have been eliminated and their enclaves destroyed. One of such strikes, which occurred on Tuesday, the 9th of August 2022, resulted in the elimination of a well-known terrorist leader, Alhaji Shanono, operating in Kaduna State. Indeed, following receipt of intelligence, he was scheduled to have a meeting with his foot soldiers at Okambo, a village about 131 kilometers from Kaduna. The air component of Operation Well Punch dispatched aircraft for interdiction mission, and overhead the location, terrorists were sighted under the cluster of trees at the foot of the Nkambo high ground, and after ensuring absence of civilian settlements within the location, the crew engaged and of course they struck. After that, feedback from local sources disclosed that over 30 rifles, 20 motorbikes were destroyed, and while about 18 terrorists, including Shanono, who is the leader of the kingpin, were neutralized and others sustained various degrees of injuries. And not less than 26 kidnapped victims earlier held by the terrorists were released as a result of the strike. That's coming from local reports from that area. So the Nigerian Air Force, the Nigerian Army actually seem to be doing a lot about terrorism. Well, let's go to politics right now. As President Muhammadu Buhari has said that Nigeria's unity is non-negotiable. Yesterday, speaking while he received in the office, leaders of the CPC, they call it, but of course that's one of our conversations this morning. While they received the CPC leaders, one of the parties that came together to form the ruling party, All Progressive Congress, President Muhammadu Buhari did say that Nigeria's unity and whatever Nigeria must be is non-negotiable, and the issues, he said, that happened during the civil war that led to the death of over 1 million Nigerians must never happen again. I want to listen to the president and then come back to the studio to talk more about this.
For their continued dedication to the ideals of democratic governance that we all believed in. The doggedness with which we pursued our vision and goals that culminated into the successes we recorded remain like bright stars in the history of our dear nation. I am particularly grateful for the unalterable belief that the members of CPC, and by extension the Nigerian electorate, had and still have in me, as demonstrated in their unalloyed support for our electoral struggles, which reflected in the results that we consistently recorded at the polls over the years. No doubt, it was the solid credentials that the CPC possesses that gave us a prime or place in the merger that led to the formation of the All Progressives Congress. As patriotic citizens, I know you are aware of the enormous challenges facing our country at this time, particularly
when they were in power. After considering these achievements, we would like to state that our sacrifice...
Yeah, welcome back. Now, Mr. Fatunke, that was the president. I love what he said, basically. Nigeria's democracy, our unity, non-negotiable, and all of that, and, you know, clamoring for cohesion, unity, good stuff. My only challenge, Mr. Fatunke, comes from the fact that for a president who seems to be bent on making sure that Nigeria stays together, apart from talking, which we just say talking is cheap, what actions do you see the president doing, you know, to make sure this dream, this fact this desire becomes a reality of ours. As far as we're concerned, it's not a reality right now.
For me, yes, the President and Commander-in-Chief of Nigerian Armed Forces, President Muhammadu Buhari, has a right to pontificate, to say Nigerian unity is non-negotiable. Let's give that right to him, but not many people will agree with him. From actions and inactions, more than ever before in the history of the Nigerian nation, we've seen fault lines being thrown out to the fore under his leadership.
Yeah.
Nigeria is anything but united in terms of all factors that you can take up: unity, faith, progress. We have regressed in a number of areas. We don't trust the government, and obviously the government too does not trust us. Otherwise, how will you be saying that in front of CPC, a party that ordinarily should have morphed into the present party, that you are the leader?
So,
In other words,
I thought I was the only one who noticed that.
Oh, it's nondescript.
Okay, my director can play that video again, but now as a feel. But I really want to point out something, because when I saw the names, CPC chairman Ondo State, CPC chairman Plateau State, CPC chairman Oyo State, CPC chairman Sakato, I was surprised, because as far as I'm concerned, there is no party called CPC. So it's like saying ACN chairman, because I know that CPC and ACN, AMPP, came together to form what we have today as the All Progressive Congress, APC. So how come they are still...
CPC transformed like AD and others. They may still have they will be like the grandfather of which you have now sent your child to go represent you. And that child is President Muhammadu Buhari.
Which they say is their poster child, yeah.
From what President Muhammadu Buhari mentioned, that it is non-negotiable, his action, from what we are seeing, is saying totally and completely the opposite. How will you explain a situation where chairmen of all these your states
are former party,
and you are
that apparently shouldn't exist any longer,
and you are giving them audience? So we see it's
or Mr. Fatwa, maybe the people, the media team of the president are the ones that came up with these tags, because this takes preparation as far as I'm concerned. You don't just print these tags yesterday. These tags were pre-prepared because this meeting was pre-arranged. Now, they scheduled this meeting, they were going to come, they had prepared the tags. Maybe they should have said former CPC, because this looks like that party currently exists. And for that party to currently exist also does not speak unity.
Okay, so let's now assume, I am not agreeing, let's assume that's what should have happened.
Okay.
And they now had an audience with the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. With what we are seeing, this presidency is anything but together. This presidency is anything leading for cohesion. What do you expect the other parties to do? It's like you are saying, go to your tent, Israel. Are you going to do exactly what you have done to CPC with others? What do you expect the opposition to be looking at? What do you expect the investor publics, that in one breath you are asking for foreign direct investment, and you are looking at a clear, distinct country risk under your nose? There's so many things that has happened under this presidency that you begin to now wonder what really is going on. What is going on? If it is not grazing roots that you want to come back, it is taking a decision and reversing the decision.
You're coming up with that grazing route again, which is something that I would like to point out. So I like what you said, something that used to exist coming back. Are you saying, or are you implying that this is coming back? Because they did say, one of the speakers yesterday, speaking for the CPC, did say that they were going to work to make sure that the desire of President Muhammadu Buhari to have better electioneering process, congratulated him already on it anyway, was going to be fulfilled. And I was watching out for the part where they would say that they are APC in the whole of the conversation.
And you'll never get that because, congratulations, Mr. President, you opened the borders and your cousins from Niger all here. A rail is going out there and you've just gotten vehicles for your cousins and neighbors out there, while we are looking at Nigeria as the one that you are saying is not negotiable. And the fear of a kind of an agenda that people are still scared about. There is also a palpable fear, even though Mr. President has labored to say that 2023
it's going to be free and fair.
Is going to be free and fair.
And it's going to be one of the best that Nigeria's ever had.
But a lot of the things that we are seeing, kidnapping, insecurity, bad economy, bad health, education, ASU, everybody is going on strike, and Mr. President does not see that. And the next that Mr. President is doing, rather than talking to all of us as a grandfather to try and bring us together, is not to get CPC and people promising him. These are wrong signals. These are not. These are wrong signals that
not just CPC. Maybe we should say former parties that didn't exist.
That does not augur well for Nigeria. It does not augur well for Nigeria. So what do we expect the Southwest to do? A party in the Southwest. What do we expect a party in the Southeast to do? The agitators will not be saying, did we tell you? Did we say? And all that kind of stuff. And
didn't we say this government was one-sided?
That is inured, wakes up in the morning, and then we begin to see things that we cannot piece together. Look at the communication surrounding this. What exactly?
So I don't want to blame the president too much, because never did he say anything that had to do with the CPC in his conversation. I feel that the people who handled the communication of the president were at fault here, because they shouldn't have tagged those tables CPC, because according to what exists, that party does not exist. So you sent a wrong signal, and the president just came in there, met with them, innocently.
We're in a democracy.
Innocently.
And I give you the right to say what you have said. I also have a right to tell you that I disagree with you.
Okay.
Mr. President is squarely, tangentially, totally, wholly at fault here. He is at fault because the buck stops on his table and he's not leading, he's ruling. Pure and simple.
You want to be a part of the conversation this morning, because Community Report comes up next, and it's about you, it's about me, it's about Nigeria, it's about Lagos particularly. And you can contribute, you can be a part of the conversation. You send a message to us on WhatsApp or text message, on the number that will be put up on the screen. But what you need to do is to keep your messages pure and simple. Mention the environment, mention your name, where you're sending your message from. So you simply read like Tomisin Agege, or Tomisin Ikeja, or Tomisin Ondo, or Tomisin Ikperu, whatever it is you're watching this show from.
Or Tomisin Daura. No, please, let's be all inclusive. I don't know.
Or Tomisin Daura.
Yeah, exactly.
Or maybe you put Tomisin Meduguri. You put it there. Or Tomisin Zamfara. Just let us know exactly where you're sending the message from.
Don't forget Tomisin Jamena in Chad. Let's make it all embracing. They are not
part of Nigeria. Okay.
According to you.
Mr. Matuka, the fact that we bought vehicles for some people, it's part of our bilateral relationship. Because I did the calculation of that vehicle. I don't want to talk about that vehicle today, but we did the calculation of that vehicle. It cost about, let's not talk about it.
Bilateral relations.
Bilateral relations between us and Chad, Niger Republic, and the rest of the countries. But Mr. Matuka has just been funny. We'll take a commercial break. When we come back, we're talking about our Community Report, and we'll begin with the projects of the Lagos State government and the ones that they have not been paying attention to.
A world of free entertainment awaits you. Anywhere, anytime, at the click of a button. A world where everyone is included. A world without subscriptions. A world where entertainment lives in your pocket, on your couch, and even in multiple places at once. is a world of premium free. Why pay? Just watch.
Let's glow.